Are you trying to bridge a gap between your e-commerce activities and your marketing efforts in real time? In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a live sync between Shopify and HubSpot using an app called Unific. Let's get into it. So plain and simple, Unific is an app that's going to act as a middleman for our e-commerce data that could be found in Shopify, sending it over to HubSpot so we could do some data-driven actions with it. This is going to allow us to do some tailored email and messaging campaigns in HubSpot, suggest more products to customers, even be able to create special offers for customers, generating custom coupon codes. And all in all, this integration works really well with HubSpot's native app integration, so you don't have to necessarily give up one for the other. So Unific offers this integration in two different flavors, a live sync and a historical sync. The historical sync essentially being an export of your past Shopify data being imported in HubSpot, while the live sync is what we're going to be focusing on today. This is going to be taking near real-time data from your customer shopping cart and sending that information over to HubSpot. We're going to go ahead and start the integration. First, we're going to go ahead to this cogwheel here. We're going to go to integrations, connected apps, and we're going to view the marketplace. We're going to search for the app from Unific. In this case, I already had it pre-searched. And there's our boy here. Go ahead and select, and we're going to go ahead and install the app. Now you're going to be presented with this screen. I'm going to have to put in my information to actually make an account and all that jazz. Now, once you've signed up and made an account with Unific, you're going to be presented with this onboarding flow. It's pretty self-explanatory, so I'm going to go ahead and skip through it and select the plan. From here, I'm going to continue on to the free plan, and I'm going to go ahead and continue until I reach to the main sync integration. Once I've made it to this dashboard, you can see all the sections that I've talked about earlier with the start live sync and the historical data sync. Obviously, our focus is going to be on the start live sync. I'm going to go ahead and create sync. Create first sync. In the way this section is presented, we're going to need our source e-commerce data and our destination for where it's going to go. So in this case, I'm going to select Shopify, connect, and begin to get all the supplemental data that I need, which is going to be our store URL, our access token, our API key, and our API secret key. Now let's move over to Shopify to get all the information. Now that we're in Shopify's admin page, we're going to go ahead and create a custom app so we can go ahead and get the rest of our credentials for this sync. The way we go about doing this is by clicking on settings, going on apps and sales channels, and select develop apps. From there, we'll go ahead and create an app. Now I'm going to go ahead and call this app Unific and create an app. Once this page loads, you'll be presented with two Shopify APIs. The first being an admin API, the second being the storefront API. For our case, we're going to go ahead and configure the admin API. From here, you'll be presented with the admin API access scope. Now we're going to need to narrow down the right scopes in order to make this sync work. As part of the onboarding process, Unific does offer these scopes that you need to narrow down, but I also left these scopes in the description below so you can use them as a reference. Now, in an effort to keep this video short, I'm going to go ahead and add these scopes offline, but I will show you an example of what this will look like when you start doing them. For example, I'm going to go ahead and add the first scope, which is read products. As you can see, it auto-populates and presents me with read products. I'm going to go ahead and select it, and from there, I'm just going to keep going down the list until I do all of the scopes necessary for this sync. In this case, the next one is read customers. And boom, there's read customers. And what do you know? The next one next to it is write customers. So I'm just going to go ahead and say write customers. And you'll be doing this for all of the rest of the scopes. And once you're done, you're going to go ahead and select save. Now we configure our scopes. Now we just need our API credentials. So if you go here, select API credentials, you'll be presented with this screen where, as you can see, we have our API key and API secret key down here. The only thing we need now is our access token and our Shopify URL. our access token can be received by installing the app. As you can see here, we'll install that. Boom. Now we'll get to reveal our token. And take note that you should definitely note these down someplace, because once they're revealed once, you're not going to be able to see them again, specifically for the access token. Once that's taken care of, we're going to go to our Shopify store and get our URL, which is also needed for the rest of this sync. Now that we have those 4 credentials, we're going to go back to the Unific app to finish the rest of the sync. And now we're back. Did you miss me? We're going to go ahead and enter in all the credentials we got from the Shopify store. In this case, we're going to enter in our store URL. We're going to put in our access token, our API key, and our API secret key. Once we've entered all 4 of those credentials, we can go ahead and connect. Once we've went ahead and entered our credentials for Shopify, we can go ahead and now add it as our source. The next thing we gotta do is sync our destination, which is HubSpot. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect it. I'm gonna choose the one that I've been doing this for. You go through all the stuff. Go ahead and reconnect that. And voila, both instances are going to be able to be mapped over. I'm going to put in a name for my connection and select save. Once we've reached this section of the app, we've gotten to the end of the live sync. We've already set up our source and destination, and the last thing we have to do is just set up the property mappings between Shopify and HubSpot. As you can see here, Unific has already pre-mapped a load of different properties for us between Shopify and HubSpot. You can see customer, order, product, even company has all been synced with pre-map properties from Shopify over to HubSpot. And you can even toggle on and off what you want to be mapped and synced, as you can see here. And as for the rest of this dashboard, you can even map in custom properties that you've created in HubSpot over to Shopify. Now, for my version of the app, it is locked, but it is something that you can do if you were to upgrade. But since we have all of our settings pretty much set in place and pre-mapped, we're going to go ahead and select the live sync. Once selected, this live sync is completely on, and now there's going to be a real-time sync between HubSpot and Shopify, and we're good to go. Once you've toggled your live sync button on, make your way back to the onboarding screen. You can finish the rest of the flow. Here we can go ahead and confirm that live sync's been turned on and select continue. This section is for historical data, what we kind of mentioned earlier, but this is the section where you would actually want to start requesting for the historical sync of your Shopify data to be uploaded into HubSpot. Since I already did it already, I'm going to go ahead and select continue. And boom, we're done. Now the live sync has been created and turned on, and the historical data has been synced over to HubSpot. All right, so hopefully you guys have a better understanding of how to set up a live sync between Shopify and HubSpot. And as a result, you'll be able to capture customer data in Shopify in real time so you can perform actions on that data in HubSpot. If you have further questions about this sync, I suggest you look in the description down below, as it left some links to Unific's documentation, as well as to our article that kind of explains a bit more about this integration. Without further ado, I really appreciate you guys joining me on this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.